You know, for any creator on YouTube, this is pretty much the ultimate nightmare scenario. Your channel, the one you've poured your heart and soul into, just gone overnight. It's called termination, and believe me, it is a very real risk. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what that means, why it happens, and, most importantly, what you can do about it. So let's dive in. Just imagine this for a second. You wake up, you go to check your YouTube studio like you do every morning, and nothing. It's all gone. Your videos, your subscribers, that community you built, years of work just erased. And look, this isn't just some made-up horror story. It's a reality that happens to creators. Let's make sure it doesn't happen to you. So let's get one thing straight right away. Termination isn't a temporary suspension or some kind of timeout. The key word here is permanent. I mean, truly permanent. Your entire channel is deleted from the platform. This is the most severe penalty that YouTube can hand out, period. Okay, so what does that permanent removal actually look like? What does it feel like in that first moment when you realize it's happened? Let's take a look at what you lose instantly. Yeah, the loss is just immediate and complete. Your channel vanishes from public view, obviously. But for you, it's so much deeper. Your whole video library, gone. You can't access it. Your YouTube Studio dashboard, your command center, locked. All those special features you worked so hard to unlock, like monetization or the community tab, they just disappear. Now, this whole thing doesn't just happen in a black box. YouTube will send you an email. This is your official termination notice. And this email is super important because it's supposed to tell you why this all happened. It's really your first clue for figuring out what to do next. All right, so that covers the what. Now let's dig into the why. Generally, terminations fall into one of three big categories. And honestly, understanding these is your first line of defense in protecting your channel. So, the first reason, it's kind of like death by 1,000 cuts. It's not about one single massive mistake, but a pattern of smaller ones. This is where YouTube's strike system comes into play. If your channel keeps breaking the rules, those strikes start to add up. And eventually, well, they lead to termination. And when we talk about these violations, what are we really looking at? Well, we're talking about the really serious stuff: hate speech, harassment, abuse. Getting a community guideline strike for any of these is a huge red flag. If you keep going down that road, it leads right to termination.
But here's the thing. It's not always 3 strikes and you're out. Sometimes one single mistake is all it takes. For a really severe violation of the rules, YouTube reserves the right to terminate a channel immediately, with absolutely no prior warnings. And you can see from these examples just how serious we're talking. This is the stuff that causes real harm. Things like pornography, dangerous scams, or any kind of predatory behavior. For YouTube, these are zero-tolerance zones, and they will act incredibly fast.
And the third big reason, well, it all comes down to intent. This is when YouTube looks at a channel and decides it was created for the sole purpose of breaking the rules. Picture a channel that exists only to post spam links, or is built around one big scam. In this case, it's not about one bad video. The whole channel is the violation. Okay, losing your videos is one thing, but the financial hit, that can be absolutely devastating. When your channel's active, everything's working. But after termination, all monetization just stops instantly. And it gets worse. Any money you've earned but haven't been paid yet could be withheld. YouTube might even refund advertisers. That money you thought was yours could just vanish. Let's put a real number on this to see how painful it can be. Let's say you have 50,000 rupees sitting in your AdSense account, just waiting for that next payout. If your channel gets terminated, there's a good chance you will never see that money. YouTube can basically say, hey, we're keeping those funds to refund the advertisers who paid to be on your now deleted videos. It's a huge financial blow. And this next part is maybe the single most misunderstood piece of the puzzle. A channel termination is not just about losing that one channel. It's about you, the creator, as a person getting banned from the entire platform. And that has massive long-term implications. So what does that ban actually stop you from doing? Well, you can't just go and create a new channel. YouTube will find it and shut it down. You're not allowed to use someone else's channel or even really feature heavily on it. And you definitely can't try to help another banned creator get around their own ban. Basically, unless you can reverse this decision, your time on YouTube is over.
Okay, I know that was a ton of bad news, but here's a little bit of hope. It is not always the end of the road. If you truly believe your termination was a mistake, there is a path forward. Let's walk through the appeal process.
So if you get terminated for a community guidelines issue, the process actually starts right inside your YouTube studio. You should be able to find a way to review the reason and then submit your appeal. Now, the most important part is your explanation. The key here is to keep it brief, keep it polite, and stick to the facts. Just clearly explain why you think a mistake was made.
But, and this is a big but, if your channel got the axe because of copyright strikes, everything we just said goes out the window. This is a whole different ballgame. It's not just about asking YouTube to take another look. This is a formal, legal matter.
And I really want to be crystal clear about what this means. Filing a counter notification isn't just filling out another form. You are literally kicking off a legal process. You're stating under penalty of perjury that a mistake was made, and you're agreeing to be taken to court over it. It is a very serious step to take.
So, when it comes to copyright, you really have two main paths. You can go down that formal legal route and file a counter notification. Or you can try something different. You can try to contact the person who filed the copyright claim directly and ask them to retract it. If they agree and tell YouTube, that strike can be removed.
Phew, we have gone through a lot, right? So let's just boil all of this down to the absolute must-know takeaways you need to remember. So, let's wrap this up. Remember this. Get too many strikes and your channel gets deleted. One really serious violation could mean immediate termination. Once you're terminated, you can't start a new channel. All that money you earned could be lost. And finally, you do have the option to appeal, but you've got to do it within a year. You know, when you step back, all of these rules, all these policies, they're really about one thing: a platform trying to balance the freedom creators need with the safety the community deserves. And that leaves us with a really big question, doesn't it? Are platforms like YouTube getting that balance right? And as this whole creator economy keeps changing, how will that balance need to shift? That's definitely something for all of us to think about. Thanks for joining this explainer.